You know that saying, in over your head? Like, that's the water level and that's your head. My head is currently... On today's video, telescope repairman, Randy Box. Ooh, sexy. Welcome to the town of, oh my god, what have I done? Population, me. But that's okay, I have been to this town before. If you remember, I got Bugsy as a box of bits, and after a year, he was road legal. So, doesn't make me feel any better, to be honest. One day, this will become a car. And the only way that's going to happen is if I do something every day. In an ideal world, I would have all the parts ready and I would follow a plan to build this car. This is not an ideal world and I don't have all the parts. So what do we do? The answer is pretty simple. We do anything. Anything that moves this project forward. Let's begin by removing all the junk that instantly found a home on my new project. It is not a shelving unit. Or at least it's not a very tidy one. It could be, but it's not. Okay, let me do that. That's better. Look! I've got an engine and I've got a gearbox, so I can do something with them. I know the engine looks like a tumble dryer, but I can assure you it is a proper functioning rotary engine, hence the round shape. Okay, what am I going to do? Well, I quite like to position the engine where it's supposed to go. And I was trying to figure out how I would go about doing that. Obviously, you want the engine as close to the firewall as possible for 50-50 weight ratio. Yeah, right. But I think what's going to determine where the engine and the gearbox goes is actually where the gear stick comes up. Because that can't really be moved unless you do a weird stick thing. But ideally, there's a little gear stick, stick, what do you call it? Shaft, no. You know what, the bit that comes up and then the gear knob goes on top. And that is also going to be determined by where you're sitting. Obviously, if it's too far forward, then the seat is, too far back and you're reaching forward. So I need to find a seat. And while we're on the subject of seats, don't worry, the diff doesn't live there, it lives down there. But I couldn't get it in. Anyway, I digress. The seat distance, the seat width is important. Now, I was under the impression that you had to use very skinny little racing seats with the walls that go up at the sides, but I think there's plenty of room in there. So I think I will do a rough drawing on the board of the frame dimensions, and then I'll know what size of seat. But I do have a seat I can try. Who remembers this from my 1932 snowmobile? Right, I've got plenty of width, so I think I can probably get a normal sized bucket seat. I don't think I need to get a race seat. If I put it there, there's room to tilt it back. Okay, plenty of leg room. The big test is the gear stick. Right, so from my calculations, this stick position only has to come back 4 inches. Let's go 4 inches. let's try that again. Now I did forget that I'll be installing seats with rails, so I will be able to move forward and back. So as long as this is in the right ballpark area, we'll be good. Yeah, I think possibly moving the seat forward a wee bit more, because I'll still get bodywork to go behind the seat. Don't know. Maybe back another inch or two. This is crucial. I have to decide right now, because once I make the engine mounts and the transmission mounts, that's it. Yeah, I think it needs to come back a couple of inches. Okay, let's see where the engine is at the moment. So that's where the front of the gearbox is. Obviously, this section of the engine bolts up to there. So we have got nearly a foot of the front of the engine to move back. So the front engine's going to be about there, which leaves a ton of space in front. The 50/50 is going to be good. So I need to work out where I'm going to mount the lower engine mounts. There's one down there. So it's going to be back about here in this area. The further back the engine goes, the easier it's going to be to set up the steering linkage. Steering's away up there, but as I say, if this engine is back to there, then I've got plenty of room for the steering. I think that is where the previous builder was having the steering column coming through, and then up to there. Loads of room. That's a good thing about using a tiny engine. You know what, let's just measure how much space we have for seats and compare it to a couple of chairs I've got out in the truck and Bugsy and BMW. So the narrowest point will be about there. 20 inches on that side. Hopefully it's the same on that side. Well, wait a minute. 20 3/4 on that side. No, it's the same. 20 3/4 both sides. So let's go and measure a normal seat. We'll start with Bugsy because I know he's got quite wide seats. Right, about there to there. Wow, 20.5, so I would have room for Bugsy seats. They do have all this plastic stuff down here, but they're about 20. Okay, seems to be a theme. Surely the truck seats are going to be bigger. Okay, 20 inches seems to be the standard for car seats. Well, that's just fantastic news, because ideally I would love to get a set of older Subaru Impreza WRX turbo seats from around 2000 to 2010. However, if I'm going to fit a 4-point racing harness, they do have to have the 2 holes at the top of the back of the seat. I would like just normal 3-point seat belts, but this will be a track car, so I need to think ahead. If you get any suggestions on if there's any stock seats that come with the two holes in the back of the seat, leave a comment. Otherwise I would need to get like Cobra, Corbio, Nakahuma, I don't know what they're called, but fancy racing seats, which are expensive. I might find a pair online for cheap, but we'll see. As I say, leave a comment. Right, I have something in my Randy box. Do you want to see? If you don't know by now, this is my Randy box. It's called my Randy box because Randy Ward sent me a new rear differential all the way from Southern California for my hot rod project. Isn't it a lovely box? Anyway, anyone that sends me stuff magically appears in the Randy box. So today in the Randy box, we have a letter from Randy Ward. What a coincidence. Randy has sent me look, stickers and a letter. Here are 2 of my stickers. Can't wait to watch you build the new project. Me too. Anyway, very cool stickers. I'm going to throw them on the board right now. That's a nice one. Broadbender, Southern California, or SoCal if you're in the trendy club. Thanks, Randy, that looks awesome. And the other one you sent me, I think I'm going to put it on Bugsy's back window. Seems appropriate. Next thing I'd like to do is get the engine bolted to the gearbox, and then I can actually work out where the lower engine mounts are supposed to bolt onto the frame. However, I think I threw out all my bolts. I had a purge a couple of months ago and I thought, I'm never going to need these metric bolts. Held on to them for 20 years and then 2 months after I threw them out, I need them. So I need to search for the right bolts. And even before then, I want to get the engine on a stand and do some form of compression test. I know it's really difficult to do a compression test on a rotary engine, but even if I can make sure it's rotating freely and I can hear the chuff sound that it makes, then I know that I'm in with a fighting chance. If I spin it and it makes no noise, then obviously it's going to need a rebuild, but I've been assured that it was running once. So that's what will be next on the 7 series. But that's all I'm doing today. Now you might think, well, I haven't done anything. I've worked out that I can get any seat I want, and I know where I'm going to be mounting the transmission at least. So before you go, on my last video, a few people were asking what I used to do, if I was retired, all that kind of thing. So do you want to play a game? I have had many jobs in my life. Let's see how well you guys think you know me. At the end of each video, I am going to give you a multiple choice question. 3 answers, one of which is right, the other 2 are completely made up. And on the next video, I'll let you know who was right. Once we're finished with my huge list of jobs, whoever's got the most correct answers wins a prize. I don't know what that prize is yet, but I'll make it up as I go along. So, for today's question, did I do the following as a job? A, swimming pool lifeguard. B, telescope repairman. C, world famous artist. Leave a comment below, A, B, or C. Okay then, I need to find a new home for all the junk, including this bed that appeared from nowhere. And I think that new home is going to be the local dump. So I better get at it. Remember to subscribe, click the bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.